So the first thing we are going to have inside of this system is some top of funnel ads. So top of funnel ads are ads where you're going to reach people who are completely cold to you. People who are cold to you means that they have never seen you, they have never interacted with your content, and they've never watched your videos or gone on your websites. So we're going to have your top of funnel ads, and using these ads we're going to get people to interact with you in one way or another, and this is going to be split into two parts. We're going to have what you may already know about, which are lead ads, which are meant to get people on your email list, but we're also going to have video ads. Video ads, and we're going to have your lead ads as well. So the key thing for the system to work effectively, and by the way, this can work on Facebook ads, but we can apply this system to basically any ad platform, because most ad platforms have the tools to make this work. But essentially, these ads are going to stay on platform. Both of these are on platform ads. So instead of sending people to a landing page so that they can sign up for whether you're doing a challenge like me or you're giving away a cheat sheet, something like that, instead of sending them to a separate page, you're going to be sending them to a lead form so that they can give in their information without leaving the platform. And so what this does is that you're able to track people and retarget them later without having to use the pixel. So if there's first of all, if people are using Facebook or whatever platform you're using with an iOS device and they don't want to be tracked, if you send them to a site that has a pixel, the data won't work. It has also become a lot more complicated to set up the pixel for it to actually work. But when you're using on-platform data, which is people not leaving the platform, they're interacting with the platform like Facebook or wherever you're running your ads, then you can have this data and you don't even need to set up a pixel at all. So the first part, generating those leads. But you're also going to be creating some video ads. And I'm going to go into more detail about what you're going to put into this video tomorrow. But for now, just know that we're going to be creating video content so that then later both of the people who interact with the video ads and the lead ads, we can then retarget them later. So going to draw this over here. People who watch a certain percentage of these here, and people who watch a certain percentage, people who interact with, so which means they click on it, even if they don't opt in to your lead form, you can retarget them here using retargeting ads. And when you have enough people that you can retarget, that's when you can start running retargeting ads. So if you have a small budget, you can even turn this completely off and just run your lead ads in here. So we can run lead ads. You could also run book a call ads. Right? Okay? But all the people who did opt in, those people, you're going to be sending them an email every single day. And in order for that content in your email to reach as many people as possible, whether people opted in or not, you'll also be able to reuse the content in that email and create some video content, or even just written ads with an image or something like that. And everybody, whether they're in your email list or whether they've watched your videos or whether they've interacted with your lead ads, you can retarget them to watch the video. So you're sending out an email every single day. You are creating some video content. You don't have to do that every single day. I like to aim for at least 3 times a week. But you're not starting from scratch. You're using the same information that you're using in your email, so that even if not everybody opens your emails, which is average, usually you can hope for about a 20% open rate on average. People are still going to get that information because you'll also be showing them the video. So you're going to be basically everywhere at once. Once people are inside your ecosystem, you'll be able to get them to see your message no matter what. Well, it always depends on your budget. A bigger budget means you're going to be able to retarget more people inside of your lead ads. But the point is you're going to be able to retarget more people, okay? And just to give you an idea of the budget, if you have $300 a month in budget, that gives you about $10 a day on ads. So at first, your goal would be to spend $5 on these videos and $5 on your lead form. And then once you have enough people that you're able to retarget, usually it takes about between 500 and 1,000 people, then you'll be able to retarget, and you can turn off this one, and then you can put money inside of the retarget instead. If you have $500 a month, which is approximately like $15, $16 a day, then you can add a second video. So you can times 2 with this and put $5 on these guys here. So that's approximately $500 a month. And what this will do is that, first of all, you'll be able to test more than one video. So if one video people aren't really watching it as much as you'd like, then you're going to be able to test another one, see if it relates, your audience is more interested in it. And then when one isn't performing as well as you'd like, you can turn it off, try another one. But if you only have $300 a month to start, you can just start with one video and go from there. Now, does that mean I recommend that you start with only one? Not necessarily. If you're able to put in the budget to test at least 2, if not 3, then go ahead and do that. If you're able to make at least 3 of these videos, that is always the best course of action, because then you're able to not only test a lot more content, but you'll also be able to grow that retargeting audience a lot faster than if you're only spending $5 a day building that warm audience. Make sense? So once people join your lead ad, they're going to be going into your email list. Later this week, we're going to be working on not only the welcome email that you can write to welcome people into that list, but also how to craft that daily email that's going to be turning those subscribers into booked calls into your calendar. Or if you sell something else that isn't necessarily like that you don't need to get people on your calendar, how to start conversations with people inside of your email list to get those conversations going and to get people to convert into buyers, okay? So in order to make that entire system work, one thing that you need to do is actually map out, well, okay, what topics do I need to create video content about, and what topics do I need to write emails about? And this is what we're going to be working on today. Now that you have an overview of the entire system, now if you're watching this live, you can maybe take a screenshot of your screen right now. If you're watching a replay of the live video, press pause and either like sketch this out or take a screenshot or something so that you can reference it later, or you can always come back to the video later this week if you don't know what we're talking about. So I'm going to erase everything because now we're going to go over how to map out which topics you'll be talking about. So I'm going to draw a line that represents the journeys that your customer is going to go through. And at the beginning, there is somebody who is cold and who is dealing with a problem that you can solve. At the end of the journey, they're going to become a customer, and they're going to have solved their problem using the thing that you sell, the service you sell, whatever it is you sell. And just as a quick note, this is a customer journey exercise that I did adapt from Laurel Portier's $7 ads membership program. It's an amazing resource. If that's something that you want to know more about, just leave a comment below and I'm going to send you a link directly to you. So just know that what I'm doing, I adapted this from her method. Okay? So if you want to learn more about this, just drop me a comment. Okay, so let's map out this process, okay? So at the beginning here, we have your potential customer, so your cold audience. They have some issues, one issue or another. And at the end here, you have a happy customer who took you up on your service or who bought your product or program, went through it, they solved their problem, super happy. So how do we get them from here to here? Now, this is going to differ depending on who you are, what type of service or program or product you sell. It's going to look different for everybody. But what I want you to do in today's exercise is break down what this will look like for you specifically, okay? So I'm going to break down an example based on what I do in my business, which is I help people write their emails and I write emails for them as well. So the first thing that people need to figure out is surveying what, so the first thing that we're doing right now, like this actual exercise, is the first part in my process and I call it survey. So you figure out who your audience is, what they need, where they want to go, etc. So part of that process that I do with my private clients is I get really clear on their audience. So I do audience clarity. Step 2 is learning the framework, so what we just went over. Then step 3 is going over their offers, getting really clear on what those offers mean. Number 4 is figuring out the topics, and this is what we're working on now. Number 5 is figuring out which freebie they're going to use to attract their leads into their email list and get people to watch their videos, okay? Step 2, which is in the middle, and this is the ecosystem. So once we have all this information here, what I like to do next is create the lead gen and video ads. So when I'm doing this for private clients, I'm actually going there into their lead, into their Facebook Ads Manager, or if they want to run ads on YouTube, I'm going to their YouTube Ads Manager, going in there and setting it up for them. When I'm going through the process, like we're going to be doing this challenge, then I just walk people through it. So that's one step that we need to do. Next, we have writing the emails. So figuring out what the email process looks like, how I break apart each email that I create, and how to welcome people onto the list. Next is retargeting. So turning the people who didn't convert here and retargeting them with other ads. And then we have weekly video content that we generate from the same list of topics that we create emails from. And then the final step here is what I like to call simple selling. So as you will learn later on down this challenge, the goal of every email is to sell in one way or another. Now there's going to be a little bit more than that. We're not just going to be making like consistent offers like without providing anything else in those emails. However, what we're going to be using is a very simple selling method. And so one thing I like to teach in this method, for example, is the idea of wait lists. If you're the type of person who usually uses a launch cycle, so you can't really email people to get on the phone with you every single day because you're only taking on clients or customers at a certain point. I'd like to teach a waitlist method. The next method is the no sales page method. Next method is the short sales page method. And next we have the other platforms method. And this is really, once people are at this point, they usually have already started generating revenue from other places. And so they have some ad spend that they're able to spend on other platforms. Now, in this 5-day challenge, we're not going to be going through this entire journey. Like, this is mostly a journey that I go through with my private clients and I help them implement. But this gives you an idea of how a process can break down. So this will look different depending on whether, like, maybe you're a website designer, maybe you're a brand strategist, maybe you sell a course or a coaching program, but whichever it is that you do, you can break down your process into these steps. Now, I kind of simplified it a bit to keep this video on the short side, but I actually have a lot more of these. I have 5 steps, like 5 big steps in total that breaks down between 3 to 5 sub-steps each. But what you need to know now is that each of these can then be a type of topic. But for each of these topics, we can break it down into different angles for which to approach it. And I'm going to just make a separation here. So there are several ways that you can approach a topic. So for example, right now, what I am doing, like a way that I am approaching a topic, I am doing how to do it. So it could be, and this is number 1. So how to do the thing. Number 2, why this thing matters. So you can create an entire video or write an entire email about why one of these specific things is important to keep in mind. Number 3 is the backstory. So why did you start implementing this process into your framework? Number 4 is benefits. So how does this actually help them get where they need to be? Number 5, testimonials. And keep in mind that testimonials can be like case studies, customer stories. Like I just use testimonials as a wraparound word for anything that involves people you've gotten results for. So for example, you can write an entire email about walking people through like how you got certain results for that certain person, or you can do a video breakdown as well. Some behind the scenes. So behind the scenes can be similar to testimonials, but it's more about like going into the nitty-gritty of how you do your process. So for example, a behind the scenes could look like an over-the-shoulder tutorial or something like that. So for instance, later this week when we're going to be going into the ads manager, like that's kind of going behind the scenes of how I do things. Number 7 is common misconceptions about your topic. Number 8, common mistakes. And number 9, a direct offer. So from time to time, you can make a direct offer in your emails, especially when you're trying to test out different offers that you want to see like how people react to. Like in some case, and if you've been on my email list for a while, it makes sense to test one of these direct offers as well. And then if you're creating a video with a direct offer, it can be really useful to use when you're running retargeting ads. Okay, so now if you take a close look at this, you'll see you can have about 15 topics, and then for each of these 15 topics you have 9 possible ways that you can approach it. So if you do 9 times 15, I'm not great at doing math in my head, but if you do it on a calculator, if you do it in your head, you'll see that is a lot of potential topics that you can run.